What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Match preview time. Huge game Saturday night. Why they moved it to Saturday night, we still don't know. Let's hope nothing goes wrong. But listen, it's Liverpool versus Leeds United. Ooh, this will be interesting. But listen, Jesse Marsch did his presser today, and it was probably the most interesting one he's done in quite some time. And obviously, when the pressure is on, you get different quotes and different sound bites from the manager, and we got that today. Before we get into it, please hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Got to shout out the new members of the channel: David Scarica, or I think that's right, David Scarica, David Harwood, John O'Dwyer, Chris Richmond, and and Bob's89. Brand new members to the channel, and that is much appreciated. Just shows the support for the channel, shows that you're investing in me, helps the channel out. And obviously, when I can get the thing up and running, we will do some member streams too. Sugary Goodness is saying, nice to see Jesse put some responsibility on the players in his presser. He certainly did. Muff is saying, if he said he's sick of losing, he should try change it to a tactic without obvious flaws. That would help. That's fair. And Joe is saying the same thing as Sugary Goodness here. To be fair, that was better. He's putting more responsibility on the players. Ultimately, the board are to blame for the situation we're in. I like Jesse, but doubtful he's the man to take us up a level. Well, yeah, and I mean, listen, there was so many things today with the press conference. In that Jesse had finally, even though he did say it was all on him, he did question indirectly some of the players that are at the club. And it's kind of like it was kind of like the video I did earlier this week. And if you haven't seen that one, please check it out. Where I stopped, I wasn't talking too much about Jesse and the board, because we all know they're partly responsible for this, and some portions larger. But the players just seem to get an absolute pass from everybody. No one's talking about things that have happened in games that could have been better by supposed Premier League players. And that's what Jesse was alluding to today in moments in games. But he says it doesn't matter about XG, it doesn't matter about expected things like this, underlying metrics. The facts are that we've only got 2 points in the last 8 games. So it was good. It was good to hear him go talk about this kind of stuff today. Listen, I'll tell you what's interesting. And once again, big shout out to every new member. And the membership, by the way, is in the link in the description. Our injury list is looking a little bit, it's a little bit, interesting. Dallas and Forshaw are still out. Nothing new there. Yoda's still out with his appendix kind of thing, or appendicitis thing. But in the doubts now, we've got Gelhardt, Rodrigo, Sinistera, Adams, and stop me if you heard this before, big game before, Liam Cooper's a doubt too. So we've got a few. Obviously, the ones that concern me the most are Sinistera and Adams straight away. As soon as I heard those names, I'm like, damn, already going to Anfield, and it's already going to be a tough game. But without Tyler, I thought Tyler would probably come back in for this one, but he's still a doubt. But Sinistera being our X factor, that's a tough one to take. You know what I mean? Let's have a look. Sam saying, every time I watch a press conference, I get dragged in what Jesse says, and he gets me hooked again. He really had a great way to get people on board. Hopefully he can sprinkle that to the players. Well, this is it now, Sam, because he has indirectly called out some players, and I'll just get the quote here. Let me just get the quote. Jesse Marsch has said that the demands are high. Obviously, certain personalities can handle it, and some waver in times like this. These are things that I've said before. And it's shout out to you, Rakea. Thank you. Hopefully it ends soon. But these are things I've said before, where we have got players that are weak. We've seen it in the promotion season. We saw it in the year before we got promoted. When the pressure gets a little bit too high, certain players falter. And unfortunately, some of these players are still here. He's not going to name names of who he thinks is wavering, but I think we've got a pretty good idea. We've got a pretty good idea, don't we? And it's about who he can rely on now. He said about which senior players who can step up to this level and maintain a positive outlook and play the way that we need to play without shrinking. Yeah, and he said, Nico, refreshing to hear him show a bit of anger and pressure in the presser instead of the usual American positivity. Well, I don't know if it's just American positivity, Nico, but I know what you're saying. But he was angry. He said, I'm sick of losing. I've never lost this much in my career, whether it was a player or manager, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of coming off the pitch each week and we're not getting what we deserve. So Joe is saying who cage name names. Listen, you know the names, Joe. You know the names. Come on, we know the names. I'm gonna take the Jesse route, and I'm gonna say indirectly today. I did call out players on the last video, Joe. So if you want to see who I think should be stepping up at this time, it's on that one. But we know who's the mentally weak ones in this team. Uh, yeah, Stephen, away at Liverpool, I'd be injured. Yeah, it's just funny, isn't it? How many times have we done these previews before, Stephen and everyone else, where we've done, we've heard a bit of news that all of a sudden somebody's got a possible injury before a big game against a big team. Heard it many times, haven't we? Uh, but yeah, Jesse had a bit of fire in his belly today. He says he's still fully backed by the board, but he knows that if the results keep going the way they are, that they can't. They're going to have to. He's going to force him into making a decision. So he knows that. He knows that. He said he's mixed it up in training this week to keep players focused and engaged. And obviously there's not a big weakness in Liverpool, so it required their best pressing game to limit them. Oh boy. He's talking about using psychologists and everything else like that as to help. So they're talking about bringing in extra staff members. So they are looking at different things, but obviously, as we are now, up until the January transfer window, this is what we've got. JG, what lineup do you imagine seeing with all our main players missing? KG, a bad one. JG, a bad one. So yeah. Tom saying no Rodrigo, no Sinistera, no Gelhardt. Who are we going to play? This is going to be interesting. Like I say, the doubts, they're not officially out for the game, those players that we've mentioned, but it's never promising when you hear there's doubts, because I mean, listen, we already try and rotate the players we've got after 60 minutes. So if there's doubts in them, bloody hell, it's real bad. But just going by what Jesse said in the presser as well, I don't know if we're going to see a new manager after Liverpool. I think that they've got to be realistic to know that a positive result against Liverpool is highly unlikely. So if they're thinking that we're going to get something out of there, then sack him. If we don't, I think it's poor. The only other way I can, the only way I can see them doing that is just sparing the new manager having to play Liverpool and letting Jesse just take this one, and then the new manager comes in against Bournemouth. But I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening for whatever reason. I think Jesse's got the backing, but obviously he knows he's got to stop this bleeding as soon as possible. Nabino saying didn't get the psychologist comment, to be honest, just save that money for a transfer. No, I mean, Nabino, there's plenty of clubs that do hire psychologists within the club. There's plenty of them going around, even at the top clubs. For whatever reason, whether it's to get some certain players in form, get them out of a sticky patch they're going through, loads of clubs hire psychologists. It wouldn't be unique to us, so that it's not as rare as it sounds. Tom saying, after hearing this news, I'm definitely going 5-0 Liverpool. Listen, we'll get into our score predictions later. Bully B. Can't we just forfeit the game and take a 3-0 loss now? Yeah, it's all mad. It's all mad. But listen, we'll do our score predictions just a bit later on. Yeah, Luis. Yeah, sports psychology is real. It's absolutely real. It's not just in football as well, Luis. It's in every sport. Hockey, basketball. They use them in a lot of places. Jared is saying need to spend money in January. Yeah, he alluded to that, Jared. He said that they're looking at transfers, but obviously it's a real tough window to do that at this point because it's not open. And I just genuinely believe in Jesse Marsch in saying, I don't think he realized it was going to be this bad. And I think that's where the comment came up, in that he needs to see who he can count on. He needs to weed out the people that can't handle it at this level. You know, it took him to get under pressure to say it, but there was no, this is a good group of guys, I believe in them. There was none of that kind of spiel today. He was laying it out there today as much as he can without giving names. But he was mentioning moments in games that we do on here after the games. He was mentioning missed penalties, missed chances, having a control of games, but then at the first opportunity the opposition get, they score. He was mentioning things like that today. So it was a really good presser today. So if you've given the last few a miss, and I understand why you would, I would say go and have a look at this one because it is very interesting today. Bob's89 saying Shane Marsh won't be here to spend the money in Jan. We'll see. We'll see, Bobs. We just don't know, do we, Bobs? We really don't know. Usually at other clubs, you get an idea of when a manager's doing badly, they'll probably go. But he was talking today about his relationship with Victor Orta and saying that him and Victor have supported each other so much this week. He's backed him all the way. Victor couldn't do any more for him. Like he was really bigging up that relationship. But obviously, he knows that if it carries on, if we don't get a result against Liverpool, which is likely, but then if we don't get one against Bournemouth, he's kind of leaving it out of his hands completely then. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Pardon me. Ted Garron, Leeds injuries increase with losses. The team has given up. Yeah, Ted, it's funny, isn't it? It's funny. It happens. It's not just our team, but it happens. But we can only talk about our team, right? It happens in a lot of teams where when the going gets tough, people start hiding. You know what I mean? But then they'll probably be all back next week against Bournemouth at home. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. Bully B's just saying, I don't like how they're making plans for the World Cup and transfers. Makes it seem like they're going to stick with him. That's what I mean, Bully B. We don't know. That's what I'm saying. It feels like we are 2 results away from a new manager. But then when you hear what he's talking about and just how close they seem to be in this project, it's hard to call, isn't it? We just don't know. Let me just see what else I got from this one. I mean, after all that, he did say, "I'm in no way putting the blame on anyone else but himself." But I think if you read in between the lines, he is a bit tired of some of the players that he had. Something I've said on here many times: you don't go from managing some of the cream of the crop, top-rated youngsters in like Shabazz, Haaland, to managing some of these guys and be content with it. You just wouldn't be. You just wouldn't be happy with that. He said it in regards to the fans, because obviously, I'm seeing it in the chat right now with people that believe in him, people that don't. He said, of course, some people want me out. Some people want us to turn the corner because they can see the performances aren't bad. It's normal. So he did address that too. But yeah, I mean, we got to talk about the game because, I mean, and just before I do, please hit a like on the video if you're in here already. If you're watching the replay, please do that also. Best way to help the channel. Algorithm. So yeah, in regards to what was said there and the injury news, what is everyone saying right now? So Jacob is saying he should go if we lose the next 2, but never underestimate the family atmosphere at this club. Hey, Jacob, you know it. You absolutely know it. Joel is asking, big up KG, are you Jesse Marsch in or out? Oh, damn. Oh, man, I feel like Turkish now. I feel like I'm on the fence here. Man, Joel, I'll say this, man. I need him to stop doing boneheaded substitutions. That's the thing that's killing me. That's the thing that's killing it for me for Jesse Marsch. It's the reliance on some of the players that he shouldn't be reliant on, and the promises he's obviously made to Mateus Klick and giving him at least 20 minutes a game off the bench. He needs to stop all that. But maybe with what he said today, he's going to address that. But we can only see with actions. I will say as well, is the new signings under him are our best players plus Pascal Struijk. So that's again a plus in his column. And you think if he's to get a window or 2, that it would improve with better players coming in. But the results have got to get better, Joel. So with all that just being said, I'm on the fence. I can't. It's tough for me. I don't know if he was to get sacked. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. And I wouldn't be like, what a shame. I'll be like, well, who's coming in next? I'll be like, just like, who's coming in? But if he's to stay, I need to see better decisions, need to see better substitutions. When we're losing games, to bring on someone like Mateus Klick instead of a forward makes no sense to me. And he did it before as well, Brighton, when he brought on 4 short, 1-0 down. These kind of things don't make no sense for me. But yeah, Jacob, that's what I'm saying. I think that's how a lot of us feel. Well, I mean, listen, a lot of people are Jesse out. I just want to make that clear. I'm not gonna, because a Jesse out crowd will say, "No, I don't feel like that. I want him gone," and I understand that. But that's what I'm saying. It's a conflict, man, because there's been so many good things to him, but boy, the results haven't been good enough. And what can you already say about it? It's about results. Football's always been about results. Like a striker, they're judged by goals. We have to judge him by results, and they haven't been good enough. But at the same time, I can't blame him when he hasn't been given the full tools to work with, when he's been given some of these players that should not be here. So again, it's hard. I just can't say right now. I'm going to give an answer that just doesn't satisfy anyone. I'm kind of on the fence. Sorry, I am on the fence. Uh, Shane is saying we should give him until Bournemouth. But that's what I'm saying, Shane, because if we don't get a result against Bournemouth, then my mood probably changes and think it's never going to get better. Because, I mean, listen, the teams we've played and not beaten so far, Fulham, Everton, Brentford, got to stick Brighton in there as well. And just teams like that. I mean, if we're not getting a win against home against Bournemouth, what can we do? What can we do? But then for me, it then goes on the players again. They've got another manager out because they're not good enough. On the whole, they're not good enough for the league, for this club, and they've got another manager out. It's going to be a vicious cycle for me. But that's what I'm saying. I just don't know at this point. But I probably will feel different after the Bournemouth game if we don't win. So let me just say that. Yeah, Alex, that's it as well. The board is to blame also. If but just in regards to that as well, I mean, the way that he was speaking about Victor was very glowing today. I mean, he couldn't have put Victor over any more than he did. It just kind of feels like they've said to each other, "Listen, I wish we could have got this player and this player, but the funds aren't there for whatever reason." Kind of felt like that to me today. Again, that's speculation. That's not fact. You know what I mean? Bully B, you're looking forward to Dashboard. I saw that rumor and I saw it was Joe that was putting out that joke about Sean Dyche. I think it was him, wasn't it? It was Joe messing about. But yeah, I never leaned into it because again, I don't say anything about rumors that I hear unless it's from reputable sources. I don't talk about it unless it's from people that I trust. So I was never going to mention Sean Dyche. uh, Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Katrina, what's wrong with Rodrigo and Cooper? Okay, let me just get the diagnosis. It should be on here somewhere. Hold on a second. Uh, Hold on a minute. Should have given that information actually. That's on me. That's on me. All right. The injuries are currently the doubts are Gelhart with his knee, Rodrigo the adductor, Lewis foot, Sinistera foot, Liam Cooper his glute, and Tyler Adams his calf. Yeah. There's a joke there with Liam Cooper's one, but I'm gonna leave it because there's kids watching. But yeah. Yeah, Ted Garron, Anfield flu. But listen, let's just get into it because this is a game now where I'm not expecting too much. Liverpool aren't in the greatest of form. They're really not. We saw Forest beat them, so you think, hey, maybe there's a chance. But then we go against Fulham and say, hey, Fulham, come here and take 3 points. The 3-2 scoreline for me still flattered us. We was nowhere near Fulham on the day. So it makes it hard. It makes it hard to think about going to Anfield and this current team, doing anything there. Martin Peters is saying, I'm at the stage where we score and I'm thinking no point celebrating as we can see 2 in the next 10 minutes. I'm hoping just a phase, but after 48 years, I'm feeling meh about the season ahead. Yeah. And that's the thing as well, Martin. If you remember, and Martin, you'll know because you've been a subscriber for a while, I said I would love nothing more than a boring mid-table run-of-the-mill season where we win 2, we lose 3, draw 2, win 2, and all that. But boy, oh boy, I can't even get that. And I would absolutely settle for that this season because I know it's in transition. But bloody hell, it's bad. It's absolutely bad, isn't it? But yeah, back onto Liverpool. They've got someone called Darwin Núñez in their attack who is not the best. I mean, I saw him last night. I mean, he smashed it against the post in the 6-yard box and the goal was open. He did score later on, but he's one of those players that he's just a mess to look at. Like, he's not a pretty footballer at all. He's just clumsy. He's got no tech. but he will get goals in that Liverpool team. And unfortunately, we are the club that where you come up against, he could net a hat trick against us and look great. But I've already told my Liverpool friends, don't get excited if you beat us, because this is not a team that you can put up against any measuring stick. We've allowed Willian to get his first goal for Fulham. Bobby Reed scored a goal when he's playing at right back because he's not good enough to be a striker anymore. You know, that's what we do. That's what we do. So as bad as Liverpool are, their bad is world class compared to our bad. And that's the unfortunate thing about it. So I don't take anything from the Forest game. I don't take anything at all. I see that Liverpool responded well against Ajax yesterday. I just don't see, and especially with the injury news we got today, I just don't see where we get anything. I'm sorry. And I wish I was wrong. And again, this is on the players to prove us wrong, see if they can do it. But who here sees a positive result? Let's get your score predictions in. And I'm just going to say mine off the bat because it's been in my head and I can't get it out. 3-0 to Liverpool. I don't even get a score in a goal, which is really crap. But yeah, Bob's saying, I'm glad Corbyn is at West Brom now. Please, not an option. Yeah, me too. Me too. I was not feeling that Corbyn, you know, that call for him. But again, it's the romantic thing, isn't it? You know, he was Bielsa's second in command. You know, people just want that romantic story. Igor saying 4-0. I'm assuming this is to Liverpool. Gail saying 4-0 to Liverpool. Yeah. 5-0 to Liverpool. Lord have mercy. Scooby is saying 3 or 4-0. Unless you say otherwise, I'm just going to assume these are to Liverpool, right? Okay. So if you think it's going to win for Leeds, put Leeds at the end of it. And also go and seek a doctor. All right. Lewis is saying 3-1 Liverpool. AFV 1-1. That would be some result. Can you imagine the euphoria getting a 1-1 draw at Anfield, man? It would be embarrassing. We'd be celebrating like we won the league. C Stone is saying 2-1 Liverpool. Both teams miss a dozen chances. Yeah. Billy is saying Billy Big Licks. Tremendous. 4-0 at least. Yeah. Dirty Leeds is saying 4-1 Leeds. Dirty Leeds. I'm going to remember this one. This is tremendous, man. Well done. Well done. Oh, man. Niall is saying 1-0 Leeds, Melier masterclass. It's going to have to be. He's going to have to be. Mike Adams is saying 9-0 to the... Imagine 9-0. Imagine that. Acton Dave is saying 1-1-2. Jim is saying we have to score, KG. I mean, we've got to win. Never mind just score. We scored against Fulham. 2 goals at home against Fulham, and we didn't even get a point, Jim. We've got to win. But it got to be realistic as well. If I come on here and told you that I believe that we can beat Liverpool, I'd have to just shut down my channel. I just have to shut it down because obviously I'm not being serious. Oh, man. And Danny is saying 4-0 to Liverpool if we're lucky. Yeah. Bandy in the house. Bandy. 11 games played, and all we have to talk about is saving our no claims bonus, but people still want him to stay. Bandy is a big staunch Bielsa guy, people. So there you go. Cleveland is saying 2-1 Leeds. I mean, this is a great point. Cleveland, I put this to you and anyone, you know, Dirty Leeds that said 4-1 Leeds. How are we scoring if, I mean, Rodrigo, yeah. If Sinistera's out and Gelhardt, if he's possibly out, who gets our goals? Yeah. But listen, people, this one's going to be a short one today because obviously, you know, I gave the main points of Jesse's presser and I've given quite a bit of thoughts on the current goings on in the last video I did. So if you haven't seen that one, check that one out. Big up to the new members of the channel as well. Shouted you all out at the start of the video in case you missed it. Link is in the description to become a member of the channel. And listen, I'll be back Saturday night, and I'll just say it now. I'll be doing a watch along for the game. My record's already 0-3, so you know what's another one to go on that one. So I will do a watch along for the Liverpool Leeds game. So if you're around, come and join me for that too, and we'll talk through the game together. Sounds good, right? Sounds good. Tom is saying Rodriguez 5 goals in 10 games. He does, Tom. But again, it's like his goal against Fulham. It was his first in 7, Tom. Like these kind of bunches thing don't do us any favors. If you're gonna have that, it needs to be in a better. It has to be spaced out a bit better. I think he scored all of them in the first 3 or 4 games of the season when he was on fire. He's done nothing until the Fulham game. That's what I mean. Yeah, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Yeah, the support on that channel has been brilliant, especially in the last couple of weeks. It's been really, really good. Let's continue that going up. So anyone that's not subscribed, please hit a subscribe and keep riding with me, man. Yeah, yeah, Bubs. I hear you right. Watch along. Yeah, why not, man? Why not? Why not? Yeah, Jack, brave man doing a watch along. I know, but listen, it is what it is, and yeah, we'll get it done. If for whatever reason it doesn't happen, I'll be back straight after the game, and I'll be live with you then. So listen, people, that's been the preview. Thank you so much for joining me now. Big up, and everyone that hasn't smashed a like so far, please do that. And if you're watching replay, hit the like also. And I will see you Saturday, people. Win, lose, or draw, or for the watch along. Peace out.